Hello again, everyone, and welcome to Motorsports Magazine. This week we've got some interviews for you, and we start off with Jamie Begor. Jamie, first talk about how 2013 has treated you, how pleased you are. You sit second in points. Go ahead and talk about the season so far.
It's been good so far. We come out of the box with a 4th place finish and backed it up with 2 second place finishes, and the car's been outstanding, the crew's been outstanding, and having a lot of fun so far.
Last week, certainly an interesting race between you, Robin, and Bucko. You were pretty much in a good seat to see the contact between Bucko and Robin. Talk about what you saw first on that contact on lap number 24.
I was right behind him, but actually I was looking for a hole to dive underneath him, so I know there was some contact made, whose fault it was, whatever. I mean, I was looking for a hole to actually pass both of those guys, so I really couldn't tell you what happened. I know they made contact, and I was looking for a hole to pass both of them on the final lap to, come on with a win, but we come up one short, so I'm sure we'll find out what happened soon to come.
Well, we always figure that out. In talking about last week, it seemed like the car was pretty dominant down towards the bottom on the restart a couple of times. In fact, one time you got a real good jump on Bucko down on the inside. However, unfortunately in your case, the restart was deemed not good enough as Bucko couldn't keep up. You kind of left him standing at the altar.
Yeah, we had a good restart, and unfortunately, no, when you're the leader, you set the pace, which I was, and for some reason they didn't like the restart, so we had to go back and try it again. But that's racing, and it sometimes happens, and unfortunately happened to us. But come on, with a 2nd place finish, we were pretty excited about that.
Now talk about something for some of the people at home that are watching that may not be certainly up to par on their racing and the adjustments that you guys make. Talk about some of the adjustments that you have to make from a heat race when it's a little warmer out, and compare that to feature time when the temperature cools down, track cools down a little bit. First talk about how it is in the heat, and then changing that setup over to the feature.
Yeah, it's always a challenge every time you come here, because some weeks you have rain. This year we've had rain every week, it seems, but last week it was hot and sunny out, and we were having trouble, all the way around the track, meaning very loose. So we come in and we change the left rear spring, went with a stiffer left rear spring to give us more bite off and better handling in. But it's an every weekend challenge that we're faced with to try to make this thing go the best it can through the corners, and I guess that's why we do it, because it's a challenge.
Now this week, no heat races for you guys, just the feature. I don't know if you're aware. Do you know about that?
Yeah, that's fine with me. The heat race don't pay us any money, so let's go for the main event and go for that. So, but no, I'm fine with that.
Well, so talk about the changes from practice. Obviously, you're not going to have a heat race in the middle of your regular practice session to maybe dial in and fine-tune the car. Talk about maybe how easy it is, or how difficult I think it would be better to try and hit the nail right on the head with setup coming straight out of practice and going into your feature.
That would be great, but that's never the case. So we got to go out. We usually get 2 practices, so that 2nd practice we really got to take some good notes and hopefully make the right calls and the right decisions, and hopefully have something for them come feature time.
All right, well, good luck tonight, Jamie. We'll look for that number 19 in victory lane.
Thank you.
That's Jamie Begor. More Motorsports Magazine is coming right up. Welcome back to Motorsports Magazine, joined with Renegade driver Lance Raptoy. Big night for you guys tonight, but first let's start off. So far the season's been pretty good for you. You got 2 top 5 finishes. You sit 4th in points. From your standpoint, how has the 11 been this year for you?
We've built a really good car based off from last year and into this year. We've gotten 2 top 5s, and we were going for a win the last race that we had, and it was a fortunate thing. Me and Dom were racing really hard, and we got together. We both spun. A couple cars got wrecked. I hate to see it happen, but we had a fast car. We had a car capable of winning that night, and I think tonight will be the same, but it's going to be tough, with all the weather, the way it's been, washing all the rubber off, 90 degrees to rain to 60 to now, so it's definitely going to be a gamble for everybody, but we're all in the same boat. So
you mentioned the rain, that is it kind of washes any kind of grip that's on the racetrack away. And last week we saw that where it rained, there was a quick shower before racing got started. We didn't get started until about an hour late last week. That really, and I think you saw last week, not only your division, but all the divisions, drivers are really chasing their setups, and it makes it really difficult to get a handle on the car.
Yeah, we struggled as well, and just with talking with everybody here, everybody seemed to be struggling with the same problem, and we just kind of hit it. I can't say we hit it 100%, but we definitely hit it 80%. I think the biggest problem was everybody was lacking grip. Everybody was chasing a loose car when really it was bite up off. And it was just lack of traction all the way around the corner. like a four-wheel slide all the time. But that happens, when you get heavy rain like that, washed all the rubber off. But when we were here with the ACT cars, once they ran, it was like being stuck on glue. So it's you can't have the best of both worlds, and it is what it is. You got to adapt to what you got each night.
Now, a big night tonight for you guys. I don't believe there's any heat races for you, as you would have run them last week. But 100 laps, this is, I think, take number 3 at the 100-lap race. It was rained out one week. Last week it got rained out, and then we're going to try again. Although it's cloudy and overcast, there's no rain in the forecast. So first talk about your strategy going into that race. 100 laps. We're going to stop at the halfway point. You can you can put some gas in the car, which I think you're going to have to. Gas tanks aren't big enough. You can change air pressures, and you said sway bar as well. So talk about the strategy going in. Might that be conserve the tires, seeing that you can't change those tires when we throw the yellow flag on lap number 50?
Well, I think, a lot of the guys that have put new tires on will be okay for 100. Now, I think if you abuse them, then, you might struggle a little bit, but you can cool them back down throughout the race, by backing off a little bit. But again, we're doing a 100-lap race, but it's a mandatory stop at 50, so you're really doing 2 50-lap races because you have the option of, if you're leading at the first 50, I believe if you choose to go to the rear in the first 50, you take 500 automatically. Yep. But I think you have to win from the rear, if I recall. But I don't think they did.
Yes.
But either way, I think going into this 100-lapper, these cars you have to conserve some on brakes more than anything, more than tires even per se. But these cars are all so close that if you conserve too much and you get some guys that get out front, if it's caution free, it could cost you. So you got to stay with the pack. If you got a good car, you kind of got to stay with the flow. But I think you can. I think you can get it done within the last 25 if you're in a good spot at that point.
Now, you talk about conservation of tires, conservation of brakes. There are many different things that factor out in the race, but talk about in the later stages of the race. Say the car does start to go away. Do you just try and dirt track it around the speedway if you can, especially if you're in the top 3 trying to get to the lead?
Well, I think, if it's in the first 50, if you're definitely chasing a tight or loose issue, that the air pressure, sway bar, you can definitely make huge changes there that will help for your last 50. But if you go into the last 50 and you're either or, you're just along for the ride, just trying to get through, it is what it is at that point.
Now, here's the one question that we'll ask you. If you do win segment number 1, I don't know if you know now, are you planning on going to the rear, taking that extra 500 and then trying to come to the front and get the 1,000?
I kind of got to sit back and see how the car goes in the first 50. Yeah. But I know Kevin had a really good one last year, and he opted to go to the rear and finish 4th. So he did almost do it. Yep. But we've got a lot of good cars in this division, and to come from the rear after putting it through the first 50 is tough to do. But it can be done, but it's tough to do.
All right. Well, we wish you good luck tonight. We'll look for the number 11 in victory lane.
Thank you very much, guys.
That's Lance Raptoy. More Motorsports Magazine is coming.